beautiful friends, my name is Anna. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make the best brownies. These are more on the fudgier side, but they are just absolutely delicious. I love them. It took me a long while to get to this recipe where I find that it's absolutely perfect, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Let me just turn on my stove to low. I have a little bit of water here. I'm gonna tell you why now. Ingredients are very simple, just pretty much what you normally would use to make regular brownies. So I have some semi-sweet chocolate chunks here. You can use chocolate chips, any other type of chocolate you like. I have a little bit of flour, some salt, baking soda, cocoa powder, unsweetened cocoa powder, and this is optional, but to me it's essential. Every time I'm working with some sort of chocolate, I like to add a little bit of instant coffee. It just makes such a huge difference. The coffee just enhances the chocolate flavor and makes it even more chocolatier than it already is. Then you're gonna need some vanilla extract, eggs, some unsalted butter. If you use salted butter, which I really like to use when making brownies, just omit the salt, but since I didn't have any salted butter, I had to use unsalted, and some sugar. I have a medium saucepan here with a tiny bit of water. I'm going to place my bowl on top of that because it's going to act as a double boiler, and it's going to melt our chocolate along with our butter. If only I can get it out. And now all you want to do is just let it melt. I do like to stir it pretty frequently, otherwise your chocolate might scorch. You can also do this in a microwave, but I feel like you don't have that much control. If you do decide to do it in a microwave, you need to melt the chocolate and the butter together for about a minute, but you have to do in 15 to 30-second intervals because there's a high chance you could burn your chocolate and it just gets really lumpy and it won't work. It's gonna take a couple of minutes. At the beginning you won't see anything happening, but you just want to stir and stir. I like to do it with a whisk, and it's gonna come together. Just trust me on that. And the best thing about this is it's pretty much like a one bowl kind of brownie situation because we're gonna add all of this ingredients to the bowl and it's gonna be good to go. My chocolate and butter has melted completely. I turned off the stove, and now you want to clean the bottom of your bowl because that condensation is going to continue cooking your chocolate, so we don't want that. Chocolate is nice and melty and smooth. There's a few little pieces that have not melted completely, but that's okay because we're gonna stir it for a few seconds and they're gonna melt. This looks great. Okay, now we're going to add our sugar. Okay, we're gonna stir that in very well. The mixture is gonna look a little grainy, but it will come together. I'm just gonna keep stirring this for a few seconds because I want my chocolate to cool down just a bit since we have to add the egg. We wouldn't want our eggs to curdle. So now I'm going to start adding in one egg at a time, and I'm going to whisk. Okay, we're gonna add the other one in. And we're gonna whisk. Look how beautiful. See how silky smooth the chocolate is? This is exactly what we want. Now we add a tiny bit of vanilla extract for better flavor. Now, last thing that's left to do is add all of our dry ingredients together. And I'm gonna pass mine through a sieve because cocoa powder can be quite lumpy. You don't want any lumps whatsoever. You see all of these little lumps in there? We really don't want none of that. And now we gently mix in our dry ingredients just until everything is incorporated. You don't want to mix it too much. I'm gonna go around it with my spatula just because I want to make sure that I get everything off the sides of my bowl and ready to go. Now, here I have an 8x8 baking dish line with some parchment paper, as you can see. And the parchment paper, it's gonna be so wonderful when you remove the brownies because it's gonna come right out and you don't risk anything sticking to the pan. I also have my oven preheated to 350 and I'm just going to simply just pour this in. Look how beautiful and smooth that batter is. You can use a 9x9 baking dish if you don't have an 8x8. I personally like to use an 8x8 because the brownies are gonna be a bit thicker and more delicious. Obviously, the smaller the pan, the thicker the brownies. So just know if you use anything bigger than 9x9, you're gonna end up with thin brownies. So I would say 8x8 or 9x9 is the way to go. Now I'm just going to very quickly kind of like even out the brownie mix, just like so. Trying to make it as even as possible. Now, this is going to bake in our preheated oven for about 35 to 40 minutes. You just want it to be pretty set. Remember, this is a fudgy brownie, so it's kind of difficult. If you insert a toothpick in the center of the brownies, might come out with a little bit of residue or a little bit of brownie, just because it is a fudgy brownie, so it's not gonna be like a cake consistency kind of thing, so it's going to be a little more wet, is what I'm trying to say. So I would say just 30 to 40 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. If you see that the brownies look pretty set, you know that your brownies are ready to go. So I'm gonna pop mine in and I'll see you back here when my brownies are done baking. Brownies came out of the oven about, I would say, 20 minutes ago. You do want to let them cool. As you can see on top, I added some flaky salt. If you have flaky salt, I love adding flaky salt to my brownies. The contrast from the flaky salt with the sweetness from the brownies is just like a match made in food heaven. But if you don't have flaky salt, that's totally okay. So I want you guys to see, look how simple it is to take out your brownies if you line your sheet with some parchment paper. Like I said, you do want to let it cool for about 20-30 minutes. It's gonna make the slicing a lot easier. I like to cut mine into 9, so you wanna go 3 slices down and then 3 that way. I love how crackly the top is. Oh, so good. I'm only gonna cut, wait, I'm a lefty, so I have to do it from this side. I want you guys to see how beautiful and just fudgy it is. And I'm just gonna bite right into it. This is just so good. They are so wonderful. Really fudgy, really moist. I'm telling you, you're gonna love them. They're just so yummy. I hope you guys enjoyed my brownie recipe. I'm telling you, I have made brownies so many times, and every time I make brownies, I always change something about them. A few weeks ago, I was able to hit the jackpot on the brownies. They just came out so good. I was like, okay, it's time. They're ready to be shared with the world because everyone needs to try these brownies. I'm that good. That good. I hope you guys enjoyed. Written recipe on my website, Anitas.recipes.com. On the description box, there's a link. I probably have chocolate all over my teeth. I'm gonna go enjoy my brownie, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.